welcome back. We are now joined by Grant Woods, Executive Director of the series Politics Explains, which produced the documentary Forsaken Warriors: How Trudeau Broke Canada's Military. Grant, thank you so much for joining me today. Appreciate your time, especially as we are in the midst of commemorating Remembrance Day, which I like to say Remembrance Month, but here we are. So when we discuss the military, uh, there's a lot of policy that goes into military spending, military preparedness, things like that, more on the higher level political level. Your film sort of addresses some of that. Why did you feel it was important for this film to be made?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. On the personal side of stuff, my wife's family is a military family, so it matters to me that we help our military members have a successful career. But on the broader side of stuff, the world is becoming an increasingly unstable place, whether it's in Ukraine or the Middle East or the threat on Taiwan. And as one of our interview subjects said, rogue state powers are taking advantage and testing the boundaries of the international order because the West is slowly losing its dominance, whether it be economically or militarily. So when the power vacuum forms, it leaves the door open for states like Russia, Iran, and China to fill the void and to flex their muscle. So, one of the things that we address in the film is the need for deterrence. Russia is expanding into the Arctic. China has declared themselves a near Arctic state and is looking to expand their claims on Arctic resources. So the world needs a strong Canada to deter these states. And one of our interview subjects said that if you walk into a bar and someone wants to mess with you, if you have a big stick, they'll be less likely to do that.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Sounds very reasonable. Um, so, in the say the latter part of the last century, Canada has kind of emerged from being this, very significant player globally. And now we hear in terms of global security, but now we hear that there's kind of their spot in the world has diminished, that we're not as seen as being this tough military power as we once were. Why does that view exist? Why is that? Why are we viewed that way?
Yeah. One of the things, how we started our film, was talking about our history and talking about the theme of punching above our weight. And what that is, doing more with less. And in Canada, we've had a proud history of doing that. One of the historians that we've talked to, he mentions Vimy Ridge, the Scheldt Estuary, the Battle of the Atlantic. And through the effort of those two wars, we developed our national identity among our own people and among the global nation states. So, yeah, we aren't punching above our weight now. Mark Norman said in the film that to even uh, measure the strength of the punch, you need to be in the ring. And we aren't even in the ring right now, is what he
Wow.
said.
Wow, and that's, of course,
Yeah.
retired Vice Admiral Mark Norman, who we've interviewed on this program before. He's a lovely, lovely person. Um, so why aren't we even in the ring?
Yeah. Well, I think it comes down to spending. And we've committed to the 2% NATO spending target. We recommitted in 2014, I believe. And since then, it's been an issue that's been kicked down the road. At one point in the last couple years, there was um, a memo that was leaked to the press that showed Trudeau said privately that we will never meet our 2% NATO spending target. Since then, there's been increasing pressure from the United States, and in during the NATO meeting this year, Trudeau did commit to the 2% spending target, albeit in 2030.
Mm.
So it's an issue that I think it's an issue that really matters to our allies, and Canadian leadership it's been something that we've kicked down the road. Someone else can deal with it. Um, Yeah, but we are spending a lot of money on maintaining old equipment. That's a problem. So we're not investing in the future. We are investing in repairing ships that we purchased in the 80s. Um, Mark Norman said that
Actually,
Canada
I'm gonna
needs.
hold you there, and we're gonna pick up with that quote in just a moment.
Okay.